Hi, Dr. Mata here, and today we're in the beautiful city of Glendora, and we have a real special guest today. Her name is Christine Ivy, and she is the renowned, foremost, best, and beautifulest Pilates instructor in all of San Gabriel Valley. Thanks for taking the time for doing this little interview with me. Christine, really appreciate it. So can you tell us a little bit what Pilates is and how does it differ from things that people are traditionally used to, like yoga and things like that?
Yeah, so yoga and Pilates, very similar in some respects. Yoga and Pilates are both a mind-body exercise format, but whereas yoga tends to turn the focus inward in terms of finding stress relief and a meditative focus, Pilates turns the focus inward so that you can find an external relief in terms of stress, malalignment, strength, flexibility. So Pilates has an external focus while also coupling the benefits of mind-body-spirit connection. It's used for therapy, it's used for cross-training. There's so many modalities, it's become pretty broad in terms of application.
Got it. So it's not something, it's not like an exercise program to work one particular part of the body. It's everything. And that's not body too. It's just, like you said, body, mind, spirit, the whole thing. And is there a component of an emotional component to Pilates as well?
Definitely, because you can't tap into the mind and the soul and internal feelings without feeling something in response. So in terms of, like a lot of exercises, you go in there and you zone out and you get on the cardio machine and you watch your TV.
Sure.
I've done that myself.
Sure.
You just watch some TV or read a book. You can't do Pilates and be distracted.
Right.
It requires you to find a centeredness, a focus, an internal precision, and makes you accountable. I think that's a good word. Accountable to your own awareness of your own body and your own, your spirit, your mind, all of those things. And it takes all of those factors into play, and you build this relationship with your body where you're constantly checking in and experiencing your body in new ways. So today I might experience one exercise because I'm in a certain mindset or physical state or mental, emotional state, and tomorrow it might be completely different. But Pilates makes you aware.
Got it. That's a good word. I like how you say aware, because you don't think of being aware when you're at a gym sweating. It's a whole different thing, right? Yeah. So as a chiropractor, I tell people, they always ask me, what kind of exercises can I do for my back to strengthen up my back? And I'm a firm believer that actual back exercises to fix your back or to strengthen up your back will actually do more harm to your back. And I know that we're both in agreement with this. It's all about building up your core, right? So to correct problems of the back, you don't need to strengthen the back, you need to strengthen the core. Tell me how Pilates plays into that.
Yeah, so Pilates addresses the entire powerhouse, and Joseph Pilates believed that was from the top of your inner thighs all the way to the shoulder girdle, everything in between.
And is that what's considered the core? Because we're all familiar with the core being more like the abdominal area, right?
So a lot of people think core, you squeeze your abs, flex, but Pilates means everything that connects the limbs above and below what we call the powerhouse. So that's everything. And Joseph Pilates did have exercises for the back, but there was a lot more focus on upper back and opening the spine versus loading the spine with tremendous impact. And that's where I think we get into trouble, is when we really load those lower back extensors without having firm awareness of the rest of the powerhouse, all of it in conjunction.
And when you load the spine, you also load the nervous system, which gives you nervous system problems as well, right? And so the idea is to take that load off through what you preach and practice in Pilates, correct? Right,
in terms of dispersing the load, like you were saying, evenly and efficiently. And that's one of the tenets of Pilates, is efficient movement, centered. And I like to think of it sometimes with my clients like movement on the freeway, right? If energy gets stagnant, it becomes like a jam, like a 405 deadlock, gridlock, and now we've got accidents happening everywhere. And energy is focused and streamlined through the body in an efficient way where no one part is getting more focus than the other. It's all together in harmony. Then you've got this beautiful flow and everything feels great.
Wow, I love how you describe it. I mean, I've never had a workout exercise regimen explained so eloquently. This is pretty cool. Who would benefit from Pilates?
It's really easy to say everyone, but Joseph Pilates created it for men. It's a man creating it for men.
And how long ago was Joseph Pilates was, of course, the father of Pilates, right? Yeah. And how long ago? What year was that?
Let's say, to give it a pure year would be hard, but in 1912 he was in England training the Scotland Yard, actually. He was training Scotland Yard. He was interned because he was German during World War I, and then he started creating exercises for hospital patients, and then the German army wanted him to train their soldiers, and he was like, so he got out of there and came to New York. And he shared an address with the New York City Ballet, and although he didn't really want to cater to dancers, dancers flocked like crazy. They were like, oh my goodness.
Yes.
And so what became as a rehabilitation and training device for men became this hub and this center of physical fitness for all types of modalities. So when I say it's for rehabbing and for that man who wants to get a CrossFit break and try something different, for a housewife, for an ice skater, for an athlete, for a weekend warrior, it really does kind of go across a spectrum of range.
You specifically work with their type of activity, whatever they want to benefit.
Right.
So if they're let's say they want to improve on their CrossFit, you'll put them through a certain regimen that's going to benefit that, right?
Right.
If they are a construction worker, well, you're going to help them, so they won't do damage to their back or things like that, right?
Well, it's so important to know what the profile of the person you're working with
profile.
is.
That's a great
because
word, right.
what does your life consist of?
Sure.
And the goal is not to make somebody great at doing Pilates exercises. It's to create the freedom in your body to have positive movement experiences when you're out there living your life, doing construction or walking your dog or washing the dishes, like whatever you're doing. The goal is to find out, what does your life look like? Where are the problems or the possible pitfalls of imbalance or compensation, and how can we avoid that to make your life across the board feel better, be better, and look better too, if that's one of your goals.
Sure, absolutely. Pilates is specific, and you want to go to somebody who's a master at one thing, like Pilates, as opposed to a tradesman of all things, right? So be a master of one. Now, in Pilates, you have equipment that's specific to what you do. So can you tell us about, I understand there's something called the Reformer, the Cadillac, these interesting names. Can you describe what all those mean?
Yeah, so most people walk into Pilates studio and they see all these interesting pieces of equipment and think, this is scary. Like it just looks intimidating. There's springs and there's straps and there's ropes and there's pulley systems, and it really could be nothing further from the truth. So yes, the Reformer and the Cadillac are two pieces of equipment that probably most represent what Joseph Pilates originally created when he was creating apparatus. I mentioned earlier when he was first working in internment camps with hospital patients, he put springs and pulley systems on the hospital beds so that the patients could rehabilitate before they could ever stand, kneel, walk, or take a step off the bed. So therefore, those pieces of equipment have a very therapeutic rehabilitative model by which they follow. The springs and the springs and the straps have a resistance training methodology behind them. So 5 pounds here, here, it's not going to be 5 pounds on a Reformer.
Right.
The further you move, the more the springs talk back to you, and they feed that resistance with increased resistance. So it becomes much more of a relationship between you and your apparatus. 1926 is when Joseph Pilates came to the States, and on his way he met his wife, and they opened their studio. So yeah, it started back even before then he was working on things back in 1912, back in those internment camps. So it's got quite an interesting history.
Fascinating. So can you go over some of the apparatuses and show us how they work?
Yeah, I'd love to.
All right, perfect. Great. Let's do it.
Okay, so Miss Adriana, are you ready for your teaser? Okay. So Adriana is using a red spring, and I should say about the spring system, there is a gradient. So we have medium springs, light springs, heavy springs, and each spring has a reason and a purpose, and some of the springs make the work easier and some make it more challenging. So she's going to show you how the springs help feed her movement as well as challenge her movement. So, all right, so knees are on tabletop. You're going to let your head go back, arms are going to reach back behind you, so maybe take a baby step back, woman, so she doesn't smack you. Great, and then head lifts. She's going to reach her legs long, reach those arms, beautiful C curve, good. Inhale here, exhale, peel away from those legs. Good, keep the legs reaching, release your arms and your head back, take a beautiful inhale. Exhale, gather the space, reach back up, long toes extended, reach. Good, keep those legs reaching, fold the elbows in, and press the palms away for 3. Good, you got it, reach. Good, exhale, reach 2. This is tremendously hard. She's doing a great job of making it look easy. Good.
So everything's pivoting right here, huh?
So it's scooping right in the belly, folding that beautiful spine, legs reaching energy through both ends of her body. Beautiful. Last one, Adriana. Reach the arms long and then roll down with straight arms all the way back. Release your head for that stretch. Fold the knees into table and breathe. So she did a really good job of that. That looked pretty easy. You're like, I can do that. And that takes a lot of practice. So that was really, really beautiful. Well done.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. That was awesome. I loved it.
Your turn.
Maybe.
Right.
Well, thank you so much. This was a lot of great information. Thank you,
Okay.
Christine. It's so informative. If you need to get a hold of Christine, please don't hesitate. The information is here, right here. Thank you so much, Christine.
Oh.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
My pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
guys.
I appreciate you.
Thanks,
You're the
Adriana.
best. And until next time with these beautiful women,
Yay.
Dr. Mana, Christine, and Adriana saying goodbye. Thank you.
Reach, look back, reach. There she is. Grab her, bring her back to you. Beautiful. And roll all the way up to a vertical position. Good. That's the roll there.
That felt good.